What is up, everyone? It is the Russian Eagle, finally back with another video today after a long time. Yes, get another one out. Today here we have a 4v4. Yes, a 4v4. No, a 3v1, 2. No, a 3v3 we have here. It's a siege attack. It's Rome, Carthage, and Messassili versus Lusitania, Syracuse, and Nabatea. Let's go over the army comps. Messassili. Yes, this is Messassili. Messassili is bringing Desert Legionaries, Slave Infantry, three silver chevrons, more Desert Legionary on towers and tortoises. Further back, Messassili is got Desert Cohort, more Desert Cohort, several units of Desert Cohort. For his missiles, he's bringing Tribal Slingers. He's got an African Ballista, and his general units are Armored Numidian Riders. And he's just got some more Desert Legionaries over here. Carthage is commanded by Optic Cage. He's bringing just some Libyan infantry at Bronze Chevron 2. Mercenary Iberian Swordsmen. More Libyan infantry, some more mercenary Iberian swordsmen. He's got some late Carthaginian hoplites on this tortoise. In his rear lines, he's got some more Libyan infantry at Bronze Chevron 1. Some more Libyan infantry, Bronze Chevron 2. 2 units of African pikemen at Silver Chevron 1. His general bodyguard, he's got some more Carthaginian hoplite. And for his missile units, he's bringing 3 units of mercenary Cretan archers and 1 unit of Libyan peltasts. Over here is Rome, commanded by Earl of Nature. He's got 1 unit of Hastani on a tower, just out in the middle of nowhere. Who knows why. Further back, he's got Legionary Cohort on towers. He's got some more Legionary Cohort on towers. That towers aren't manned. He has 2 more units of Legionary Cohort in his rear. He's still got some Hastati. 3 more units of Hastati on these 3 tortoises all the way back here, which is interesting. For his missile, no, those aren't his missiles. For his missiles, he has a unit of auxiliary Balearic slingers, 3 units of 3 units, or was it 2? Yeah, 3 units of the auxiliary Syrian archers. He's bringing. Okay, this is what even made me think when I first watched this replay. 3 units. Oh no, 3 units. 1, 2. No, 2 units of Gold Chevron 3 gladiatresses. Pretty sure that's how you pronounce them. So basically, female gladiators, highest tier unit at the highest experience you can pay for them, which is quite interesting. And then he's bringing 2 units of Praetorian Guard, and then he's got his general unit, which is just a general bodyguard unit. Going over to the defenders now, we have Lusitania, played by Lord Ellington, which I'll put a link to his channel in the description. We have a unit of, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Lusitania guerrillas, and then another 4 units of these guerrilla warriors that are stationed outside the walls. Further in, still under Lord Ellington, we have probably like 3 units of Balearic slingers. 4 units of Balearic slingers. He has a Iberian Bastion ballista over there on the wall. further closer to the wall, he's got he's got 3 units of veteran shield warriors, and that's pretty much his forces. Oh, okay, this is the wall behind his building. He's got a unit of Lusitani nobles, that's his general, and then 2 other units of Lusitani nobles just as standard melee infantry. Now we go to Nabatea. Nabatea. So that was Lord Ellington. We're going now to Nabatea, which I'm pretty sure this is Nabatea. You can confirm me if I'm wrong. Nabatea is commanded by Dave the Vassal. He's... Where does his army start, actually? Let's start over here with these missile troops. He has... Over here has 2 units of Nabatean heavy archers. He has a unit of Nabatean thorax pikes. He has a unit of the Wrekin Palace Guard. Closer to the walls, he's got some Nabatean axe warriors. Over here, he has a unit of armored desert hoplites. Further back, he's got some more Nabatean axe warriors with 2 units of Nabatean heavy archers. He's got some more armored desert hoplites and Nabatean desert warriors. Nabatean axe warriors. Why do I think they were desert warriors? And for his artillery, he's bringing in a Eastern Bastion ballista. Lucky last is Syracuse, commanded by Argamus. He's got... So let's just start up here with... Oh, has he got anything out there? No, he hasn't. Okay. He's got some... About 3 units of thorax swordsmen. A unit of mercenary Samnite warriors. As we move further up, he's got 2 units of mercenary Balic slingers. Some mercenary Samnite warriors. Some pikemen. Closer in, he's got some thorax hoplites. As we move closer to the point, we see some more thorax swordsmen. Mercenary Balic slingers. Like 2 units of them. Mercenary Samnite warriors. Some pikemen. Some Theros spears. Some more 2 more units of thorax swordsmen. Another unit of Theros spears. Another unit of Theros spears. Where's his general? Over here. This unit of thorax hoplites is his general's unit, I presume. Yeah. Yep, that's the army comps. Let's just start the battle and see how this goes. So wall artillery starting to fire over here at these... Hold on, I'll just have the heads up one. At these 2 tortoises, owned and controlled by Missasli, that are moving up with several siege towers. What's happening on this side? Rome's moving up 1 siege tower, which is weird, but who knows why. Mercenary Iberian swordsmen with a tortoise are moving up to that wall most likely, which have Nabatean axe warriors on it. These Carthage forces over here aren't really up. They're moving 2 tortoises up. It's interesting. I'm interested to see how they do this. Or they're trying to belt down this wall because they've already done 13% damage to it. Because they got a tortoise coming. Alright, that's just... Let's see. Let's see how this goes. The guerrilla forces under Lord Ellington are just sitting outside still. There isn't really much movement happening in the fort. Just they're waiting. Missasli's towers and tortoises are moving up over here. wondering, well, it doesn't show me, but wondering where they'll go. Over here. This replay was sent in by Dave DeVassel, so thanks, Dave. Hope you can keep providing me with good content. As you can probably tell, it's a slow start. Just belting down some walls, moving towers up. Dave is now pulling his Nabatean Axe Warriors off the wall, because they were getting shot at by the Scorpions on top of the Siege Towers, as well as getting hit from the Ballista hitting that wall. And just because you don't want your units on the wall when it goes down. Rome is pushing forward one Siege Tower, which is taking severe damage from that Iberian Bastion Ballista, which it's heading right towards. Rome's moving up more towers, and his main army, Rome's moving up 4 towers and 3 tortoises, which would be interesting why he placed his army so far back, but who knows. Carthage's tortoises have now reached the wall, which I presume they're trying to cut this corner and then open that up as well. So they have a pretty open gap, which means they'll have to make the defenders put a lot more troops in there and stretch it. Which then that also could mean that the attackers could put some missile troops along here and then shoot into the defending soldiers. But then the defenders could do the same, put some missile troops and then shoot the attackers. We'll just see how it plays out. Over this side, Metaceles is moving up. He's almost at these walls. He's got one tortoise, just almost at the walls. A few more siege towers. His siege towers back here have stopped moving. And his tortoise, I think he abandoned the tortoise because the damage on it is quite high. Oh, no, siege towers are moving again. The defenders haven't really done much. They're just preparing to repel the threat. Carthage hasn't actually moved men in this gap yet. Nabatea has put some desert hoplites at one end and got unit of armored desert hoplites and Nabatean Axe Warriors at the other end. If they try and get through, if they try and push through, but it doesn't seem to be much. Oh, there is more moving up. There's another mercenary Iberian swordsman with a tortoise, and 2 units of living infantry with siege towers. So it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the plan is. How's it going over this side? Metaceles is now landing on the walls. He's got some Desert Legionnaires on the wall, and some pushed into this tortoise gap, fighting some Theros spears and Thoric swordsmen under Argamas. More and more, another unit of Desert Legionnaires is about to land on the wall with these 2 units of slave infantry closely following. Now mercenary Iberian swordsmen from Carthage is moving in, with some late Carthaginian hoplites that are just sitting out there. What else? The artillery is still continuing to bombard. Why do I keep saying sorry. The thorax swords from over there are throwing their Pilar into the flank of the Desert Legionaries, which is quite a good tactic. So you're basically holding enemy in place while you're weighing them down with missiles. It's a good tactic. Over here, Carthage is pushing up even more forces now, pushing up pretty much most of their army and their missile troops, and they're including their general, because they're doing quite a lot. They've landed on this wall over here and opened up a giant chunk of walls here, which was interesting to see. The defenders weren't going to defend, but I can see their strategy, because if he's just going to keep making more and more holes, they can just defend one end against all of it, instead of just having to force themselves to spread themselves thin. I don't know what the heck Rome's doing, because he's moving two towers up, so he has a unit of Hastati just sitting there for who the heck knows why. 2 units of Legionary cohorts are about to land on the walls, with another 2 on the way. 2 units of Hastati are moving up, as well as his missiles and some Praetorian Guard and some gladiators. Well, what's happening over here? Messaceles' attack, it's progressing, but it's sort of going well, but sort of not going well. They've made progress, but I think their reserves are too far back. As in, just as I would do, probably just move my reserves up closer to the main assault, and once you've breached walls, you can rush your main forces in to take it, in like sort of like a blitzkrieg style sort of offensive, instead of, even though slow and steady is good, it's just gives your enemy more time to react and prepare a more solid defense that they already have. Carthage is landing some Libyan infantry on the walls, fighting these Nabatean axe warriors. Argamus is moving some thorax swords onto the walls, I presume. Over here, Argamus seems to be holding well. He's got the breach contained pretty much. He's moving reserves over. He's got this quite well handled. Even though those legionaries just overwhelmed just those spears, he's got some pikes nearby. And some Theros spears he's moving onto the walls to take on these desert legionaries that are on the wall. Over this side, Rome's sort of pushing their assault. Well, not really, to be honest, because his forces are just sitting there. They're not actually landed on the wall. And interesting how he dismounted his forces from that tortoise. I think he's going to try and rely on this tortoise to get him in. But still, these guerrilla fighters over that side have not been noticed, which is quite interesting. Over here, Carthage's assault. Carthage is pushing in a lot of troops. Alrighty. Oh, that was a tortoise just bashing at the wall there. They're just standing opposite each other now. They're not really doing anything. Oh, no. Dave is charging some armored desert hoplites into these late Carthaginian hoplites. Oh, Dave's archers. It's just getting some good volleys on these swords men over here. And these hoplites that are entering. Dio, who commands... No, Dio doesn't. Not Dio. Dio commands, Carthage. No, mistake. Optic Cage, who commands Carthage, is moving his archers up to try and get some return volleys on them. Rome has actually landed some troops on the wall at the moment, and more forces are following. Some legionary cohorts And now he's moving up that tortoise over here. You can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to put as much pressure on, but it's not really effectively working. Alright, let's go into some slow-mo. Let's enjoy some slow-mo shots. Just of this battle. Just... let's get some good shots from here. Some good screenshots. Just look at that. Get some good... I'll put a link to respective channels for people who are in this battle. The only one who I can think has a pretty active channel is Lord Ellington, which he does Total War videos as well. He does constant live streams. He's a good YouTuber in my opinion. I've known him for a while. I've played several matches of Rome 2 with him and Warhammer 2, which will be upcoming. But he's a good player. He's well experienced in the game of Rome 2 and other Total Wars as well. So he's a good ally for your team if you people fight over him, because he's that good. Over here we got some Libyan infantry coming in, just over here. Carthaginian hoplites moving up with the units that are fighting Dave's and Desert hoplites. Nabatea still sort of holds the wall, barely, but they're not really under heavy assault, but still under somewhat assault. The historic swords on the Argamas. Oh yes, I'm unsure if Argamas has a channel. I will have to check, and if he does, I'll post a link in the description as well, which will have the link. Also, if you wish to join my Discord, there's a link that I will be also putting in the description for my Discord. It gives you announcements on videos, live streams. You can chat with my other subs and just people. It's a fun place. You can, yeah, it's cool. We're just chill there. You should join. I'll post a link into there to description as well. These desert legionaries are fighting these Theros spears over here. Still, Lusitani under Ellington has not done anything with these guerrilla forces. They're still unseen, but it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. Rome's forces are doing some interesting things. He's attempting to be aggressive, but the thing with an aggressive attack is you gotta do it fast. It can't just be sitting there doing nothing, just taking it slow. You gotta be really push, like the Blitzkrieg, sharp, sudden, devastating offensives, not locked in a war of attrition combat like here. That's the thing to a good assault, which you have to find a weak point in your enemy defenses, breach it, open even wider than it already is. Alrighty, that's gonna be taken differently, but I'll continue. Open it wider than it already is, and push out quickly. So like, say here, open up here, and then push through, basically, even though it may mean dividing your forces, it will mean your opponent has to divide their forces as well to block each of those every single threat as well. Carthage's archers are shooting at something, who knows. Over here, the Carthaginian hoplites are still in combat with the armored desert hoplites. They're combat even. What's happening over here? Dave's moving up some Nebatine, moving up his archers. His Nebatine heavy archers. He's holding over here with his Nebatine axe warriors against Hastati, which that's true, they can hold. I'm still wondering what Lord Ellington is going to do with these Lusitani guerrilla force he has over here. Will be quite interesting to see. Will this be glitchy? Oh. Slightly. I don't know why that's happening. It might be my computer. There is like over 10. Yes, yeah, there's about. It's a 3v3. There's about 3,000 men on each team. So there's 18. It's around 18,000 men on the field. My computer can usually handle about 12. So that's fun. Well, 12 without getting glitchy. That's why I was running it in slow-mo. If it gets too glitchy, I'll put it back to slow-mo, but just because slow-mo makes it go even longer. But on the walls here, oh, that is sort of bad, but workable. Lusitani's veteran shield warriors are in combat with these legionary cohort. These Nebatine axe warriors are in support of these veteran shield warriors. Rome's moving up another unit of Hastati as his archers. Yes, archers and slingers are trying to get some shot on these veteran shield warriors from Lusitani, like trying to hit them in the side. They are losing the fight, to be honest, but Rome's attack through this gap has pretty much failed. The Hastati that came through at routing, well, they are against Lusitani nobles, Nabatean axe warriors, and Recompile's guard, which are true. Legionary cohort are just breaking. His units are getting some moderate shots on these Lusitani forces over here, but nothing major. Oh, there's another unit of legionary cohort just here, but they're like fighting in the tower over here. Carthage is moving up some Libyan infantry and some more hoplites. Nabatea is holding over here and even making one of the Carthaginian hoplite units waver. What's happening over here on Argamus' side? Oh, Masacily got in. Masacili's pushed in. He's killing off these mercenary Samnite warriors. He's killed a good chunk of Argamus' forces, which is interesting. Desert Legionaries and Desert Cohort are killing these mercenary Samnite warriors. Combat even between these Desert Cohort Thorax swords, but then there's another unit of Desert Cohort over there, which still says combat even. More Desert Cohort. What's Argamus got nearby? What's he doing? He's got some mercenary Baloric slingers, but they're not basic fighting unit. He's got some pikemen. He's pushing up a unit of Thorax swordsmen, unit mercenary Samnite warriors, and some more slingers. Oh no, he's basically pulling everything he's got back, because some more Baloric slingers and some Thorax swords. He's got his general unit of Thorax hoplites still sitting there, but you don't normally chuck your general in self-sacrifice. So this is a good tactic that he's done here. He's set up his pikemen, not in pike formation, but just pikemen, He should set them to pike formation, highly advisable. Desert Cohort are coming to face him. Interesting. I was wondering whether he's, yeah, I was gonna thought he would gonna try and charge his army medium wise into the back of those pikemen, which would be interesting. I think he's gonna try to set up a defense along here. Where's he gonna try and set it up? Oh, along here maybe. Along here and reform the pikes. Oh, can he do it? Did he reform them? Oh, he sorta did. He sort of reformed the pikes, but still it was still interesting to see. So yeah, he couldn't really set up the line, so he's just gonna charge into the unit of Desert Cohort. Because I think he was planning to set up a line along there, but because the Desert Cohort got there first, don't think he was able to. Oh, he's moving his general up now with Thorax Hoplites, some more Thorax Swords, and the Mercenary Balak Slingers. I can't remember if I went over them just before. Over here, the fight between the Carthaginian Hoplites and the Armoured Desert Hoplites is still continuing. Carthage has moved large portions of his army into the settlement. Only outside he has 2 units of African pikemen and his general's bodyguard. Oh, what is this? Lusitani has moved his guerrilla forces up to fight against Rome, and Nabatea has sallied out with Palace Guard and Nabatean axe warriors. Oh, this would have thrown the Rome guy completely off. Oh, okay. Lusitani's guerrilla forces are now harassing the Rome players' forces, and probably greatly delaying his assault. Which, yeah, and there's no Rome forces in the settlement, which is interesting. There is a team of Carthaginian, Libyan infantry under Carthage. They're fighting the unit of Lusitani nobles, so yeah, they are gonna lose to that. Dave's moving some units just over here, some missile units that, or is he not? Is he moving? Oh no, he is actually. To try and hold. Lusitani's, yeah, they're actually doing quite well on this side, to be honest. With this sally out against Rome, he's probably been greatly delayed, and it will cost him in troops and manpower, definitely. Oh, these Nabatean axe warriors are harassing his Balak Sling. Oh no, his Syrian archers. The balance of power is even at the moment, because even though they've killed a good portion of Carthage and Rome, the thing is, Messaceles still has quite a decent fighting force left, and that the Argamis's forces have been decimated. No, I'm not saying he's out to fight yet. He's still got quite a decent force to hold with, but because of the the heavy losses that he has taken, that's probably why the balance power is still equal, and not in defenders nor attackers' favour. The fight out here is still going. These guerrilla warriors are now attacking Rome's general. These Balak Slingers are getting them shots on these guerrilla warriors. Dave's Nabateans axe warriors are going off some Syrian archers. Dave's general just routed a unit of Syrian archers, and they've done quite a lot of damage to the Rome player, or you can tell by how much they've done, because look at how much he's lost. He's lost a good portion of troops. He sent his gladiator women in, and legionary cohort surrounding these Lusitani guerrillas, but Lusitani guerrillas aren't expected to hold for a long time. They're just guerrilla warriors. Meanwhile, what that happens, I think they're just reconfiguring the defenses in the settlement, because it's the assault out here has been put, the sally out's been pretty much stopped, because the guerrilla warriors have been killed or routed, but they've taken a hell of a lot of Romans with them. Just saying. There's some Lusitani guerrillas over here. I don't know if Ellington's noticed, but they're probably just gonna die and rout because there's 100. Oh, wait, where's this? Interesting. Oh, they're just gonna rout and rave probably themselves. Or it's either waypointing with these. Against 143 Praetorian Guard, they're gonna easily die. Rome's trying to capture these point. Or the tower. Lusitani and Nabatea are moving up archers and slingers to try and get some good shots in here. A unit of guerrilla warriors is moving up to engage with a unit of Lusitani nobles and the Palace Guard. Carthage is just still sitting here. He set up his own defenses, and I think he's just trying to get as many kills as he can with his archers at this point, because he's still just defending. The Nabatean thorax pikes are fighting these African pikemen. The other pike units having more men, except half of them are Nabatean ones over here. How's this side going? Oh, it's not going that well. Macesli has pretty much gotten in and decimated Syracuse. Pretty sure Artemis is playing Syracuse. Just decimated Artemis's forces. It's been surrounded. Yes, Artemis is playing Syracuse. Decimated his forces, just got surrounded and just executed. He's got some forces left, but he hasn't got much. He's only... Is that his general? No, it isn't. That's Macesli's general. Oh no, Artemis's general was in there. Alrighty. What's Artemis got left? A unit of Balic slings on the wall. Some more Balic slingers that are moving fast, but they've got heavy casualties. I think that's about it. I think that force is dead. Wow. Now Nabatea and Lusitani are moving large forces over that side. Hold on, is that the point? Are they... Hold on, is this the victory point, I wonder? It's not telling me. I presume it is. I'm unsure, to be honest. Let's see if... could be just trying to cap the point. Who knows? And just win that way, but that's just a bit of a dick way to win, but... Alrighty. Lusitani and Nabatea are pushing heavy forces over there. They left light forces to fight these, well, Praetorian Guard and gladiators. Just left minor forces. Carthage is actually quite just happy sitting there by himself. Oh, no, he's moving, actually. Carthage is moving what remaining forces he's got to fight. And this is going to be an interesting... It's about 9 minutes left. How is this going to go? This is going to be interesting to see how this fight will end. Well, Lusitani does have archers that are sitting back and firing on the Praetorian Guard, but Lusitani is moving. Lusitani and Nabatea is moving pretty much the rest of their forces, like 80-90% of what men they have left, to come up here and fight Massasoit, which is quite pushing, quite strong. Carthage is moving forward to hit what? It's probably got like 400 or 500 troops left, approximately. Around that. Lusitani is reorganizing his forces to try and engage him, but also just being wary of that cav, as knowing how, because the 3 players on this team, on the defenders, are quite experienced players. Lord Allington, Dave, the Vassal, and Artemis. They have many hours of Rome 2 under their belt, and they're quite good players. And if you ever got to play with them, it would be probably an honor, because if you ever got to, because they are quite good players. So you'd want them on your team. Rome's moving up. Well, I don't know, because Rome did rage crit halfway through the battle. I don't know, because he did rage crit sometime in the battle, but because the notification hasn't popped up, I don't know if he has or not. That's the thing. So it could be AI just commanding his remaining forces, or him. I'm unsure about that. Please don't quote me on it. His remaining forces are moving up. Praetorian Guard, Gladiator Women. That's what I'm just gonna call them now. And this is the fight for the point. This is the fight for the point. Everyone's basically pushing everything they've got to try and take this point, which is interesting. Lusitani nobles, Nabatean axe warriors, Nabatean thorax pikes. Where are these Nabatean warriors going? Oh, there's a ballista moving up. And if the ballista didn't have ammo, they wouldn't be moving up. Why, that's a bit dangerous. Ugh. Excuse me about that. Sorry about that. They've... Interesting how they haven't attempted... Oh, they get harassed by Carthage's general into Lusitani's, well, slingers. Nabatea has his general, but I presume he's not going to engage. Or is he? Is he just prepping for a charge? Oh, fire arrow. Oh yeah, from the towers they captured up there. Nabatea and Lusitani are just pulling whatever they've got back to try and hold. Because this is pretty much the last stand for them here. They have a chance to win. It's just how this battle goes. Nabatean heavy archers are fighting some gladiator women and some pikes that aren't in pike formation. It's interesting. The remaining Roman forces are moving up. Just bronze to Praetorian Guard unit, which is still quite good. Lord Ellington is using 2 units of his Balearic slingers to try and kill these African pikemen, or at least rout them before they get to his slingers. Because they still probably have a decent amount of ammo in them. Dave's moving up his Nabatean thorax pikes to sharpen his choke point, as well as Ellington's moving up his Lusitani nobles to support Dave's pike. Oh no, he's sending his Lusitani nobles into the fight. And these Nabatean heavy archers are setting up over here. well, Dave's pushing some Nabatean axe warriors because they want to try and kill this tribal slinger unit, I presume. The African pikemen under Carthage are moving in now with the Praetorian Guard. Now, the Lusitanian nobles are now throwing Pila at the Praetorian Guard and pikes. The gladiator women are wavering. Carthage, the Carthage archers are moving forward now. But the slingers, they mustn't have any ammo because they're charging head on with blades out. They're charging at the slingers on the Ellington. Ellington's moving his general unit in, his Lusitanian noble general unit in. More melee archers are moving in with some living pelters, which do have ammo left, I presume. Or they had one volley and then he's moving them in. Lusitania does have a ballista over here, which has 2 men on it, but that's just pretty irrelevant in this battle now. They're doing a pretty good job of trying to contain these archers over here. Oh, well, that's just one unit of archers over there, at least. What else? These Balak slingers just got in position. Ellington's moving his Lusitanian nobles up to the front line. Dave's pikemen are, yeah, they're a bit low. Ellington's trying to throw as many stones into these guys as he can. Oh, look at that. Look at those men fall. And these pikemen are doing a good job. Over here, a unit of Lusitanian Lord Ellington's general is fighting these mercenary Cretan archers and living pelters that are out of ammo, which they should do well against. It might just be numbers, but they might have trouble with because there are several hundred of them. Oh, Dave's general. He's Nabatean noble cavalry. He might get in a couple good cycle charges on the rear of these Carthaginian forces. The fight over here is pretty much ended. The Roman forces are routing. The pikemen are routing. The African pikemen, and now Ellington and Lord Ellington and Dave can concentrate main priority, well, on just these Carthaginian missile troops, which are also routing, and they've killed the archers that are here and just fighting that artillery crew, and that's the end. The defenders won that one. Hold on, let's go to the kills. Alrighty, here we have the kills. Yes, Dave the Vassal was playing Nabatea, Argamus was playing Syracuse, Lord Ellington was playing Lusitania. Ellington, well, let's start with Dave. Dave got 2,972 kills, with his highest unit getting 384, which was his general's unit. Argamus got 2,093 kills. His highest unit getting kills was a unit of mercenary Balak slingers with 200. No. A unit of thorax swords with 332 kills. Lord Ellington getting 1,824 kills, with his highest unit getting 362 kills, which was his Lusitanian noble general unit. Messassili was commanded by Private Dio, Rome was commanded by Nature Gamers, and Carthage was commanded by Optic Cage. Private Dio got 2,563 kills, with his highest unit getting 335 kills with his Armored Numidian Riders. The Rome player got 2,238 kills, with his highest kills coming from his unit of Praetorian Guard with 371 kills. And Optic Cage got 1,456 kills. He was playing Carthage. Getting his highest unit was a unit of African pikemen with 167 kills. So everyone, I hope you liked the battle. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'll put links to channels of these people, in the battle, in the description. Also a link to my Discord server, so if you want to join, please like, comment, subscribe, and recommend to your friends and family. That's about it. This is Russian Eagle out.